weekend's been pretty good actually so far. We have been fast out of the blocks, which is nice. First session was in between conditions, but the last kind of 5-6 minutes just about dried up enough. The lap times weren't massively fast, but even so we ended up third. And then in the second session yesterday, it was spitting a little bit at the start of the session, so I sat out the first kind of 10 or 15 minutes. Then it was dry for the rest of the session, and we ended up with my fastest ever lap around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. So really happy about that. 25.2 was only 1/10 off pole. So actually overall that's probably showing that we've got some really good pace this weekend. So we've got qualifying in about 40-45 minutes. It'd be interesting just to see how fast we go and how fast everyone else goes, but let's see what we can do.
Yeah, so Brands Hatch this weekend has been going really good. To be honest, it was a bit of an annoying day on Friday actually, because we would like dry time on the bike. You know, it was the first time coming here on the bike, and Saturday, Sunday looked dry, and it was hampered with the weather. So it was FP1. We pretty much didn't go out. We did 2 flying laps on inters when it was actually slick conditions at the end of the session. Same as the second session really. The first bit of the session was a bit of rain, but luckily it dried out and we got a good run at the end. And just couldn't be happier. Really happy. The bike works great around here. You know, the guys said that they've always had good results and stuff like that. The BMW seems to work really well here, and they weren't wrong. I did my fastest ever time here by 1.5 seconds. So yeah, really looking forward to qualifying. Hopefully we can get a good place on the grid and have a good race this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's stable, and it's a new tyre I've got faster anyway, so pretty more stable. Well, fairly stable, but the old
Well done, pal. That was good. That was good.
Well done, Brian.
Can I have a hug?
Corner, off the front. That's what you get.
well, it's not what you get. Some of the other boys don't get that.
Yeah.
What was the issue? Was there no grip?
Yeah, too much rear spin. I lost the front loads, probably hitting the bottom again.
Well, qualifying was good. Home round here as well, so it's always nice to come back and have a shorter drive than Knock Hill. We seem to have made a big step, actually second row this time, and got a bit of a toe off Alex and actually ended up going a bit faster than him, which I'm not sure if he was too pleased about, but you know, I just had to show him how it was done. So these things happen sometimes. I'm sure I'll have to give him a bit of a favour later, maybe slip him a bit of money to keep him sweet. But so yeah, thanks for the toe, Alex. I'm looking forward to the race, obviously. Furthest I started up all year, so it's actually going to be a lot easier than starting in P15. I've been getting really good starts as well, so to be honest, if I can get a good start from P5, then I'll be right in the mix. Obviously, not everything was behind Alex, so I did actually do a lap by myself, and yeah, the pace is good. We seem to have made a huge step with the bike, so I'm feeling really confident. It's almost transformed the bike. Unfortunately, our crew chief, Lewis, isn't actually here, but we're working remotely, making the best of the situation, and yeah, hoping for a strong weekend.
All right, son. Blending in, Rog. Today was going good, actually. We was on the pace, went 0.2 under last year's or the year's lap record, and we're still P7. And I think we towed 3 of them into the top 5, so it's a bit annoying, but you know, Jack's got to start sending the envelopes over this side of the garage if he keeps wanting it to happen, because it ain't a free taxi service, you know, so we're gonna have to start paying for that. But no, it felt good. The bike's in a good place. It's just, you know, we didn't expect the pace to be this quick compared to last year, but the bike's good, and I think we can do an outline lap record pace, but I think we are consistent throughout the race, so that's good. And the bike feels good, so we'll see how we get on in the race.
The boys did very well yesterday. Free practice 1, free practice 2, and then today we got free practice 3. Now we just had qualifying, and very pleased with Ryan. He's 8th on the grid. Pete's a bit further down, but I think it's going to be an interesting race later on. Also the stock boys, Jack did very well today. Alex is at 7th, I believe. So I'm very happy at the moment. So we just have to wait for the race to come on now. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
round 5 of the Pirelli National Superstock. The first race of the weekend with Billy McConnell on pole, but it was Davey Todd who got the whole shot down into Paddock Hill Bend from the Bill Bay Suzuki of Richard Cooper. A promising start as well, with a bundle of riders, 10 or so, fighting it out for the podium positions in the early stages. Todd led into Druids ahead of Cooper, with Billy McConnell coming under attack from Jack Nixon, who made a brilliant start. Going through Graham Hill Bend, unfortunately there was a crash for TJ Toms. His front wheel made contact with the rear wheel of Charlie Nesbitt, down he went, but back to his feet, luckily for the number 2. At the front, Cooper continued to lead, and there was a fall, unfortunately, for the Malenko by Paget's Honda rider Lewis Rollo, who fell at Hawthorne Corner. Davey Todd then had a turn at leading as Billy McConnell started to make progress after a poor start. His favourite overtaking spot into Paddock Hill Bend. Braden Elliott as well, the championship leader coming into this race, was in the top 4. A huge crash then for Jack Nixon. His bike cleared the barriers, went into the trees, rider okay. Billy McConnell then got his gloves out, started to make a few moves on Cooper, but the red flag was brought out for this incident involving James Buchanan, and the race was declared after 2/3 distance.
Billy,
do you know if he's landed yet?
What did you say? Speak the Queen's English.
As soon as the tyre went off, the thing's sliding, like coming out.
Times are still strong though, you're as fast as Billy.
Yeah, but it's hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, frightened with the bike where normally I can just sit on it. Like, coming out of paddock must have been better. Yeah, stronger into paddock, I felt stronger. But into coming out of Druids, it's like all the way, and the traction's cutting and it's sliding all the way before then you turn.
Yeah, how much of that do you reckon is track? 44 degree track?
Yeah, probably. But it's, the pump's got a lot more aggressive pump. That went, and then I'll just see the dust, and then Jack's was the same, isn't it?
Oh, Jack's was in the tree.
It's gone in the tree, so it actually, in fact, it'll be landing in a minute. Not be a lot left of that.
I was having to concentrate on winding it out the whole time.
Is it landed yet? Right.
You are?
Is it landed yet?
I don't know, mate. I can't even see it. I was looking in the woods, I couldn't see it. They're like, yeah, we're going to have to get some cutting tools out. I shit myself because I kept, all I could focus on was trying to wind my brake out.
Did you get brake plate?
Yeah, for the last 4 laps I was on the bike, or 3 laps, that's all I was doing, trying to wind it out. And then I'd get to Druids, obviously it would go in again. It was genuinely like starting to get close to my fingers.
Alex was getting brake plate as well.
Mate, I went in there and touched my fingers straight away. Like I braked in the same spot, like where the 2-board is. I went like that, touched my fingers, and I just went wide, and then just folded straight away.
Right.
I'm alright, yeah. It was big into it.
Oh, Lewis keeps texting me, so he was like, he just wanted to know if you're alright.
Yeah, sorry, big crash, but yeah, got away quite lucky with that one, so what can I say?
Let's see what the bike looks like when it comes back.
On to tomorrow, they can find the bike.
BSB race of the weekend saw Taz McKenzie on pole position as the McCams Yamaha rider got off into Paddock Hill Bend in front. It was a Yamaha 1, 2, 3, 4 again through Paddock Hill Bend. A good start for Bradley Ray with Kyle Ride in the mix as well, and Jason O'Halloran with just behind them Tommy Bridewell. There was drama though for BMW rider Andy Irwin. He crashed on the exit of Graham Hill Bend, and Brad Ray then took to the front. A nice move as he led the championship leader coming into this race. Tommy Bridewell started to pick one off to get to the front, and there were a couple of unusual falls. Lee Jackson's first crash of the year. Christian Iden went down as well. Ryan Vickers had a nasty one, and Josh Brooks also found the gravel trap as well. Meanwhile, out front, Taryn McKenzie reeled in Brad Ray, managed to get himself to the front. His teammate Jason O'Halloran was also now into podium contention at this stage. The FS3 Kawasaki rider Rory Skinner was in third, but dropped back a bit. Tommy Bridewell then found his way through. Brad Ray seemed to be struggling with rear grip and dropped back to second, and then ultimately would lose out on third place as well. There's a big moment, a big slide coming out of Clearways and around Clark Curve. That allowed Bridewell through into third place. Leon Haslam was fighting through the pack. Chrissy Rouse from 30th on the grid was fighting with Peter Hickman and Danny Buchan and Josh Owens, trying to pick up a point, but in the end there was no one stopping Taz McKenzie, the reigning champion, on his return to Brands Hatch, where he won the championship here at the end of last year, winning the race from his teammate Jason Halloran and Bridewell in third.
So, you've got a petrol leaking apparently or something? Yeah, that's part of the front. If you grab the front wheel, I'll get a strap on the back one, and we can lift it out. Go now. So when you want to stop, we'll pass it over. Step. Out as well. There's one that side. You may not right. Look, it's pressing as well. You're popped it out. He's a good lad, isn't he? He's always thinking of you. Yeah. No, mate.
Alex Olsen was on pole for the second Pirelli National Superstock race of the weekend, but from third on the grid, Braden Elliott got the whole shot into turn one. Number 51, the Australian, to lead in the early stages of this brilliant race for 15 laps. Alex Olsen, number 75, who started from pole, managed to get through on him to briefly take the lead with Allingham involved. And then we had a safety car out because of an incident involving Joe Francis. Sean Winfield there coming to help him out. Everyone was A-OK with that. They were on their feet and the race restarted. Alex Olsen then resumed out front, but Allingham went up the inside of Braden Elliott, and it wasn't long before he was challenging for the lead as well. Richard Cooper at this time was in third place, making brilliant moves down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. This was on Tom Ward. And then David Allingham made his move out front to lead the race and lead his first race of 2022. Cooper then got well involved. Billy McConnell was charging through the pack. Likewise, Davey Todd as well. Another brilliant move from Cooper. That's number 2 that he's done into Graham Hill Bend, and he saved the best till last as well. Coming out of Druids, this was the race-winning overtake. Richard Cooper bouncing back to this championship and winning it with a checkered flag out. Fantastic race. Cooper wins it from Allingham and McConnell.
Well, what can I say? That was everything we had today, and it wasn't good enough for a podium. But yeah, the bike was good, team worked well. We just didn't have the pace to take it to the Hondas today. I think we just need to work in a few areas where our bike's struggling, and hopefully have another go at Frankston. We've always done well at Frankston. We won both last year, so considering that, we won here last year. But yeah, no, I think we're in a good place. We just need to work on trying to make the tyre last and see what we can take to the Hondas next weekend at Frankston. That's about it, really.
Well, obviously this weekend showed a lot of promise going from Saturday morning when the temperatures were a bit cooler. And from there, the track got a bit slower, and it wasn't too bad, especially yesterday. I felt really comfortable before the unfortunate crash. But one positive is that we seemed to sort out the brake issue that we had yesterday that actually caused the crash. So went into today's race, completely new bike, so massive shout out to the whole team for all putting a massive bit of effort in. Actually, everyone stayed until about 10:30, and then my boys Steve and Mickey actually stayed until about 1:30. From 8th, I ended up P3 in about 3 corners, so felt really good at the start of the race. And then the safety car came out, and after that, the tyre dropped off, and I struggled a bit in the the warmer conditions. The track was a bit greasy. I hadn't ridden the BMW in those conditions before, but seemed to struggle with a bit of edge grip, and then ran into a few technical issues as well, unfortunately. So had the quick shifter stop working. Obviously, you know what it's like with when you build a new bike overnight, like the boys have done. Sometimes after it's been through a massive crash and there's a few bits still on it that have been in the crash, that it can have a few issues, but we still managed to push through and finish the race and gather a bit more information. But I think overall got to be happy with this weekend despite the results, because we've shown that we can run at the front, be in the front group, and essentially be strong. So it sort of gives us a bit more confidence going into Thruxton and the second half of the season. But shame about the results, but obviously the pace has been good, so yeah, overall fairly positive.
Mackenzie was on pole for the third BSB race to decide the Monster Energy King of Brands, with Brad Ray and Jason Halloran also joining him on the front row. Mackenzie managed to get the whole shot from Brad Ray down into turn 1, and a great start from 8th on the grid for Glenn Irwin as well, who got himself going pretty well and up to 3rd. Josh Brooks, 2 crashes in a day. That's not something you say very often. Glenn Irwin managed to get through on Brad Ray and then took a turn in leading as well. Had anything left in the tank and he had a go. He tried to Tasmac into the last corner, but just didn't quite work out. Fantastic race won by Taryn Mackenzie here. 3 1-2s for the McCams Yamaha team this weekend, and Mackenzie is in the showdown places. He's got podium points. It's the return of the Mac.
Here we are again. Can you not just use the video from Knockhill? Another tough weekend. It seems to be quite a common thing at the minute, but actually there is some positives to take out of it, believe it or not. So starting with the stock boys, Alex was there, he was 4th, he led the race. We're just lacking that little bit and over race distance, which is unusual actually, because Alex is normally really good at the end of a race, but yeah, track temperatures seems to hamper us more than others, or that's what we think anyway from from following other riders. So we need to figure out why that is, but it seems to be a bit of a characteristic of the bike, to be honest with you, at the minute. So first BMW in Superstock, that's all you can do really, to be honest, as long as you're the best bike at the time, or brand at that time. So that's okay, that's positive. Jack was a very lucky boy. He had a big crash, but showed some mega pace and impressed, as he has been all year, everyone. The bike there's not a lot left of his bike, so you know, well done to the boys, fair play. They was here till sort of gone 1 this morning, and then came in again trying to build him a new bike. So it was in the wilderness, they got it out of the trees, and there wasn't a lot left of it. So that's all good, and he's definitely finding his feet with a Superstock 1000. So happy with both of them guys. They're doing a great job. So really good there. Ryan's turned a corner, which is a positive. He's found his feet a little bit with the BMW now, so that's really good. And he's gone nearly 1.5 seconds quicker, I think, than he's ever gone around here. So it's just everyone's gone even quicker. So really good though. Again, unfortunate, lost the front yesterday in the race. Greasy track again. He just took the front, so nothing bad. It was all right. But, and then in the race today, he had a high side out in Clearways, which was a big crash. Bike's a mess, and he's actually fractured a bone in his hand. So we took the decision for him not to go out and just rest up, because he's fairly bad and bruised, and the bike's quite bad as well. So, but the positive of that is he's found his mojo a little bit, so he's fast. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next round. And then Peter, the old dog again, just keeps plugging away and doing what he does. Yesterday, I mean, Friday was a good day. I think we was third in the first practice and second in second practice. Again, gone faster than he's ever gone around here, so really good. And then again, temperature goes up, and sure enough, we seem to struggle. So in the race yesterday, it was difficult. Finished 11th. First race today, we finished 12th, which doesn't sound very good, but actually he got put onto the grass, and he was last. So to come from last and get 12th actually was not so bad. We made some quite, I say radical changes, but something that doesn't seem to make any sense, and it seemed to work in the last race. So he was 8th, sort of 10-11 seconds off the win, which is not great, but it's a damn sight closer than we have been in the past. So yeah, lots of positives to take. We need to do something. I don't know what. We need to find something with the bike, try some new parts, do something, just try and bridge the gap, because at the minute we haven't got the package. Again with Pete Superbike, he was fastest BMW in all 3 races. So I think that's as good as you can hope for at the minute, and we will try and we'll keep smiling, because we smile a lot, and stay positive, and then just see what happens at Thruxton. Thruxton's been a good round to us in the past, so we'll see what happens.